Hello, everyone. Wow, this is weird. Now I know what it's like to be a YouTuber, because that's what apparently teachers are now. So let's get back to some form of normalcy. Today we're going to be starting what is a week-long final project for the first chapter. We're doing multi-page websites. We've actually talked about almost all the HTML we will. Though right after this, we're going to learn how to style websites to make them look cool. So the aim for today, how can we plan a 3-page website using all of the tags we've learned? Before you judge me for using Microsoft Edge, I'm doing that because on my computer, if I use Edge, I get to use my fancy pen, so I can do things like this. So what are all the tags? What's a tag? Well, remember, a tag is something like this. Now, what was the H1 tag? What did that stand for? That's right, Dora. It stands for heading. Yay! And is this the biggest or the smallest? That's right, it's the biggest. Yay! No, we're not gonna do it like that. Whatever. But yeah, so we'll review those tags. You'll notice that there's no spot for homework or do know because it doesn't make as much sense. Instead, there'll be an agenda. So in this video, you will see I'm going to introduce course changes, introduce the new routine for the class. I'm going to review the HTML tags, and then I'll introduce the project grand rubric and sort of break off what you should do today. And then finally, a summary. This summary for today will include that Google question. So it's what you have to answer on Google Classroom as part of a weekly sort of classwork grade of just making sure you're watching these videos at least, especially since office hours, while I'd like you to attend, I'm currently making them optional. We'll see how that goes. Okay, course changes. So grading policy. This is true of any math class. So your algebra or geometry class should also make this change if they're doing it correctly. And so for us, it used to be the case that homework was 15%, classwork used to be 15%, projects, for us, those were the tests, because we're a little different, used to be 10%, and then the rest, the assessments, used to be 65% of your grade, which is huge. Now it's a little flipped. So it's now this rewards you logging in and consistently doing work. And then because it's harder to assess you in like a formal setting, we know how crazy this world is now. So instead, this will be made up of the daily sort of Google check-in questions and any Code Studio practice problems I ask you to do in these videos. The end of chapter projects, that's what we're about to start. That will be worth 40%. And so there are fewer of these, but they're worth less than they used to be. Still important. I'm obviously new to this, so leave a comment below. Oh God, what is this world coming to? Leave a comment below if you have any suggestions on how I can make these videos better. God, wow, it's okay. I'm a YouTuber now. All right, daily routine. Watch the video posted. I will be posting a video each day by 7:30. That doesn't mean watch it by 7:30. The wording is poor. Watch it during class, like our class time. But I will post it each day at 7:30. Recording it the night before, so I'm recording this on Sunday. Then this order might change, but the idea is there'll be a question in the video to answer. You'll see this little icon, and it'll be very clear, but you'll see this icon. if you need to scroll through the video. I know you can kind of cheese this, but complete any assigned classwork. For today, that will be doing, like, reading through the project guide and at least starting the project. And then attend office hours with questions. Office hours are during class time. So I'll remind you of this all the time. But for us, that's 9:45 to 10:30. And there will be, for tomorrow at least, there'll be a link to Zoom, which a lot of your teachers are probably going to use. I might use Google Meets later if Zoom doesn't work. We'll try different stuff out. Okay, let's do a quick little tag review. So we saw a bunch of different tags already, and I'm going to type this instead of writing it. We have seen some basic ones, like H1 was the biggest heading, and every tag has an opening and a closing. It has to have that. These headings went all the way from H1 to H6, where this is the smallest heading. Anything after this doesn't work. There's also, for any random just text, you would put that inside of the paragraph tag. Notice I'm being very careful to always close and always open. We had the body tag, which is all visible text. So an example of this would be, like, if we had a body, and then in here we would have like a heading, and we would have a paragraph, something like that. And it would be inside of the body tag, indented a little bit. The last thing we did before the pandemic, the plague hit us, was debug and make code look pretty. So that should be a little fresh still. We also saw lists. We saw two types. We saw an ordered list, and we saw an unordered list. We also saw something like LI, which was an actual list item. And what this looked like, the ordered list created like the 1, 2, 3. The unordered list created the different dots, like that. And then this was what actually made it work. So if you wanted to make an ordered list, you would have to open it, add in a list item, add in a list item, and then you would actually close it after you were done. So similar to body, there's this little bit of space. Actually, there's this little bit of space here to make it clear. And then this would be where this would be 1, this would be 2, that kind of thing. Okay, so we got those. Those are the sort of more basic ones. The list gets a little complicated. And then we also learned about, every time I close the pen, it lags, because I'm doing this on my laptop, which is not meant to screen record. There's also we learned images. This is the complicated one. You're going to mess this one up, especially since you don't have a classmate there to point out that you spelled it wrong. Tag, IMG. Unlike these other ones that close immediately, we've got stuff to put in here. We've got our source, SRC, source. Remember, because it's like the word source, where you take out all the vowels. A lot of people put this, don't do that. Source. If you hit equals, it should automatically pull up some options for you, like dog.jpg or whatever. We also had to add in, so you added a source. We also need to add in alt, which is like a short description of what that thing was. So like small dog. Great. And then finally, optional, but if you want to change the size, you can change the width to be something like 200. And now, oops, you close it. And this alone makes the image pop up. That works. This is what we've done so far. There is one more tag that we will do tomorrow. I don't want to do it today. You will see it if you look at the first couple things. It's called an anchor tag. It's used to link different pages together. And it follows a similar set of rules as image. But again, we'll do that one tomorrow. If you don't have your notes, now would be a good time to like have a sheet of paper or a Google Doc or whatever, and sort of type these out or write these out yourself to have as a reference. Okie dokie. So let's talk about this project. Oof. Okay. So, yeah, let me pull it up here. If I were good at this, I would have already had it pulled up. So as you can see, I am bad at this. I am bad at being a YouTuber. Okay, cool. So lesson 9, multi-page websites. This stuff here, 2 through 4, we're going to talk about tomorrow. Okay. Today I want you just remember what we did and get a little bit started. So for this project, you can make a website about anything you want. Anything you want. If you want to make it about the app you did before, you can do that. If you want to make it about something totally new, you can do that too. It should look like this, unless you've been doing any of the extra problems at the end of lessons, and then you may have some stuff in here. So this is where we'll be doing it. 6 through 10 walks you through a lot of the steps, and I want to talk about those steps now. So what we have here, this is posted on the classroom page. Here is like a checklist of things you can go through. Some of them may not make sense yet, like navigation bar. I don't know what that is. I don't know. And like multiple pages, we haven't done that yet. Don't worry, we'll get to that tomorrow. But I want to go through what these basic things mean. So what we need, some of the things here, using for this first step. Everything has these basic tags, and everything is inside of some kind of a tag. So there's nothing loose out there by itself. We'll need to have 3 different pages, including a navigation bar. We'll talk about how to do that one a little bit more tomorrow. Oh, I can't scroll like this. Okay. We need to, this one though, you can start doing. I'm just randomly choosing colors basically. We need to include all the different size, all the different types of tags you've done so far. So everything on that review, you need to include it. Yes, you do need a list. Yes, you do need images. All this stuff here, for this next piece, HTML code is consistently well formatted with nested tags aligned vertically to make them easier to read. I may, by the time you get this, I think I might actually cut the comments part because we didn't get to talk about that in class and it's not that important. So what